Hi, welcome to the Real Talks podcast. I'm your host, Jay, and I'm an entrepreneur and a business owner. And my goal in this podcast and why I started it is to share my stories, my experiences, how I was able to overcome different challenges when I just started my business, and at the same time, what I did to be very successful. Also, in this podcast, I'm going to be interviewing other small business owners, content creators, real estate investors, and share their own experiences and knowledge as well. We'll keep it real, we'll keep it raw. We'll talk about everything from the challenges that they had, things that they've used in order to scale their businesses, and definitely inspire you guys. Share their stories because entrepreneurship is not easy, but it's very, very rewarding. So there's a lot of stuff that I love to talk to you guys about, and I figure having this podcast will allow me to share my experience, share my knowledge, and hopefully inspire and help others as well. But a little bit about myself. Before I became an entrepreneur, um, I came as an immigrant back when I was a kid. When my family moved to from the Philippines to California, where I grew up. After graduating from high school, I wasn't sure or ready to go to college, and I figured, you know what, my grandfather, who was the reason why we came to America, he was a U.S. Army veteran, World War II. God bless his soul, and I figured I'd follow his footsteps and mature and learn, and also save out some money because we came from humble beginnings. We didn't have a lot. My mom worked very hard to support us, and yeah, my parents were separated when I was a kid. My dad ended up having his own family, and so that just basically the environment I grew up in. But I did end up joining the U.S. Navy proudly. I honorably served for 21 years, and throughout that time, I definitely learned a lot of skills such as self drive, motivation, and dedication. Things that I wouldn't have thought myself without having to get a mentor while I was in the Navy. And through that, I was very comfortable. I ended up deploying a couple of times, and we'll not talk more about that here on this channel, but certainly I've seen some things that I wouldn't want anybody else to experience. But nonetheless, here I am. I served over 21 years, and it was time for me to start another chapter of my life. And I wasn't sure whether I was going to go into corporate America and leverage my expertise, my leadership skills um, in the HR world, which is basically what I've done in the Navy. I did recruiting and talent acquisition, as well as being a national trainer. So I went around the country and started teaching sales, marketing, and leadership. But nonetheless, I wasn't quite sure again if I was gonna go into corporate America and work my way up again, or um, really follow what I wanted, and ultimately that was to start my own business. I told myself maybe about 10 years ago that I was going to start a small business, whether it was a clothing store, because I do love fashion, a sneaker store. If you could see the different sneakers in my back, I've been an avid collector for more than, I'd say, probably 18 years. But I figure I'm gonna just get into recruiting. I was very good at it. I did recruiting for the Navy, climbed a ladder, and I said, you know what? I might as well continue what I love doing, which is to get into recruiting, and do that for corporate America and actually make real money. Long story short, I ended up hiring a business coach. He's a YouTuber. Unfortunately, um, he had passed away this year, and he was very young, but a great guy. His name is Ben Nader, and taught me to build a six-figure business. And really, success leaves clues, and all I did was follow exact blueprint that he taught from, from point A to point B, and just really dived in and applied it to my business. Um, and my first 4 months, I made over $120,000. The beginning of 2022, January all the way up to April, and I was like, wow. I mean, this is the exact same income I was getting while I was active duty in the Navy, at at a one of the more senior level um, rankings, right? And I definitely saw, how amazing it is to be an entrepreneur. And mind you, I was a solopreneur at the time, and I was doing everything from business development to um, client acquisition to the recruiting aspect of things, interviewing candidates, and so on and so forth. Nonetheless, because of my dedication, my drive, and um, not having that quitting mentality and wanting to always you win and succeed, helped me be very successful. Although I learned the foundations through my business coach and mentor, um, in order for me to get there, right, to six figures. But eventually I just started earning more and more and more. I ended up hiring more people onto the team, and now I have a small team and a recruiting manager who's also a friend of mine, Ken Reyes. So he's running the recruiting side of our business. And essentially what I've done is to just really just have a small team, applied what I've learned. But I wanted to scale my business. I wanted it to scale into seven figures. So that's how I came about my interaction and got into the 10x world, because I was doing some googling on like business scaling how to's, and then his ad for card adventures started popping up, and I'm like, who is this guy? Seems like he knew a lot about making money and establishing business and growing businesses. And I and for me, I understood that investing in professional growth is going to only help me personally and professionally. So I ended up going to my very first 10x Business Summit. At that time, we used to call it Business Boot Camp. And it's a 3-day event where I got to learn about everything inside a business that they use and teach their clients on how to be able to scale and then grow their revenue. In those 3 days, I got to meet so many other business owners making seven, eight, even nine figures in that exact same room. And I got to network, and I had a chance to actually meet Grant Cardone, Uncle G. Um, and I was, I pretty much what happened was I ended up talking to him on the side, and just thanked him for having this opportunity for me to be able to learn from them. And I was in the very front row. For the I paid for the VIP seat, the best seat, essentially, for the program. And he noticed me, and he just started asking questions a little bit about my background. I just told him, hey, I'm a Navy veteran turned entrepreneur now, and I'm just trying to grow my brand and my business. And that was the reason why I was there. He then talked to me that they had a new program. This is called the 10x Business Advisor, and he thought I would be a great fit to be one of the first ones. And long story short, I ended up talking to Card Adventures more. And after seeing everything that they do, I knew it was a win-win. I could learn directly from them what made Card Adventures and other companies they have in their ecosystem, what made them successful. I'm able to get certified to learn all those things, which will entail, well, no, which means that I'll be able to apply that into my own business as well. And Yeah, that's how my journey of becoming a 10x business advisor began, and how, learning from the things that I learned through their program, I was able to build a seven-figure business in my agency. And here I am. I'm applying everything that I'm learning, growing my brand. I recently wrote a book. If you could see it right behind me, it's called "How to Start a Business and Grow It." And I wrote this book to be able to hopefully help people out, get started in business, and share my experiences as a Navy veteran, who did not know anything about running a business, but I did know leadership, and a few other things while I was in the Navy. And so I just pretty much applied that. But nonetheless, I wrote the book to be able to help you out as fellow entrepreneurs and business owners. Um, and yeah, so nonetheless, here I am. I'm on this podcast, and my goal is to share other entrepreneurs, business owners' success stories, my success story, and the pros and the cons, challenges that we experience, barriers that we have or had to overcome in order to be successful. So my intention is to be able to share that with you guys through our weekly podcast episodes, and and highlighting other business owners as well to share with you guys. So essentially it's a win-win as well. And I do hope that you'll find this beneficial for you to follow my journey in this new world of podcasting. And yeah, if you're an entrepreneur, you're a business owner, or you're an aspiring entrepreneur, you want to learn about business scaling, how to create more revenue, learn about marketing strategies, how to hire the right people, and how to lead properly in order to cultivate a thriving culture in your business and your company. So I do hope that you follow, and follow my journey on this, and as I share my experiences as well with you guys. And I hope that we can grow together and build together and grow a community together. So I will also be starting a Facebook group. So I will post that in the later episodes when it's fully ready, and I'd love to invite you guys there and have our own community of 10x entrepreneurs and business owners. Other than that, hopefully you like this first episode, and the next one I'm going to show you guys this week. And I appreciate it. And again, I have no professional training when it comes to podcasting, so I'm just doing this right off the bat, and I learn as I go. So please bear with me. And then if you're an experienced podcaster and you want to connect, please do so. My IG is at IAMIM underscore JREAL 10x. I am J Reels 10x. All right. Nonetheless, I hope you follow our journey, and we'll see you in the next episode. See you.